In this video, we're going to talk about hashing. So earlier in the semester, we talked about three ultimate goals of information security and assurance, which were confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And hashing is actually used to check the integrity of a file. So it really touches upon the integrity aspect of your security, as you can see. So the usage of hashing is as follows. So typically what happens is hashing is an algorithm that generates a fingerprint of a file. So if you run this algorithm against a file, it will generate this unique value belonging to this particular file. Therefore, if a file stays the same, if you run the same algorithm over and over again, you get the same fingerprint value, the unique value over and over, the same value. So the hash value also stays the same. However, if there is even a tiny change in the file, its hash value will dramatically change, so that you know that there has been a change. So this is how hashing is very useful, because as a user of this hashing algorithm, you will notice right away, even if there is a very tiny change, just one bit change in the file, you will detect that right away. You'll be able to detect it right away. So to give you an example, some famous hashing algorithms include things like MD5 or SHA, secure hashing algorithm. So instead of talking about hashing just over and over again in terms of its theory, I think it's much better for us to do some hands-on. So that's why I have this terminal window running on Linux distribution called Mint. So Linux distributions, typically they come with these typical hashing algorithms already built in. So for example, there is something we already discussed, that algorithm MD5 is already available on this version of Mint Linux. So if I type, for example, MD5 and press tab, as you can see, the programs that start with MD5 all show up, and you can see MD5 sum right there. So for example, if I do ls here, which means listing all the files in your directory, and I just created this file called test.txt. So in order for us to see what's inside the file, on Linux or Unix you type a command more and then test.txt, and you get to see what's inside the file, and the file actually says go Dr. J go. So now I will run this hashing algorithm MD5 sum against this file test.txt. So what this will do is, as I told you, is producing this fingerprint of the file. So if I run the algorithm, you get this unique value, fingerprint value of the file, as you can see here. It's a long string. So as long as the file stays the same, if I run the algorithm, the fingerprint value still stays the same. But what if I change something inside the file? I'll just change one letter in the file. So I'll just use my favorite editor, text editor on Linux, which is VI, and then I will open this text file .txt, and as you can see, the text is there. So I'm gonna change this one letter, exclamation mark with maybe a question mark, and then I'll save the file, and then I'll run the same hashing algorithm MD5 sum against that text file and see the value I get here. So as you can see, the number looks entirely different from the previous value I got. The previous value was 992V something, and the one I have is 0C945 and so on. So as you can see, if there is any change in the file, you can see that change in terms of a different fingerprint string right away if you use this hashing algorithm. So where is this hashing algorithm useful? For example, on these websites where you can download these shareware files or any sort of an important file to be installed on your computer or something like that, just to make sure while you are downloading the file nothing bad actually happens, the person who's posting the file will also post the hash value of the file. So if, for example, you download the file and compute the hash value, and the hash value you just computed after downloading the file, if that matches the posted hash value by the publisher of the file, that means nothing changed in between what was on the website and what you just downloaded. So that's how you can check the integrity of the file. So this is one of the uses of hashing algorithms.